Have you ever stopped to think if a single AI, no matter how powerful it gets, actually has its limits? Well, today, we're diving into a concept that pretty much shatters those limits: AI multi-agent collaboration. And here's the thing, it's not about making one AI smarter. It's about making a whole bunch of AIs work together as a team. So let's break down how this actually works and why it is such a game changer.
All right, first things first. To really get why we even need AI teams, we've got to understand the core problem they're built to solve. And it all starts with the natural limitations of a single, solitary AI agent. And that really brings us to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? For simple, straightforward problems, sure, a single agent can be incredibly effective. But what happens when the tasks get genuinely complex, kind of messy, and stretch across a bunch of different fields of expertise? The honest truth is, a single monolithic agent is eventually going to hit a wall. I mean, think about it. When a problem needs deep know-how in finance and coding and market research, asking one AI to be a master of all trades just creates a massive bottleneck. It simply doesn't scale. So, to blow past that limit, developers are shifting to a whole new way of thinking. Instead of trying to build one super genius AI, they're building entire AI teams. And this is the core idea right here. Instead of one agent trying to do everything, you get this cooperative group of distinct, specialized agents. You take a huge objective, you break it down into smaller chunks, and you assign each piece to the agent that's best suited for that specific job. It's the classic divide and conquer strategy, but for AI. So how do you even interact with a team like this? Well, a lot of the time, it starts with a supervisor agent. Just think of it like a project manager. You, the user, give it a complex request, and the supervisor breaks it down, delegating all the subtasks to its specialist agents. Each specialist does its thing, and then the supervisor stitches it all together for the final result. Okay, so we get why we need AI teams. But how do they actually work together? What does that collaboration really look like under the hood? Well, what's fascinating is there isn't just one way for these agents to team up. They have a whole playbook of strategies, and each one is suited for a different kind of problem. Sometimes they work like an assembly line, passing work from one to the next. Other times they might actually debate each other to figure out the best solution.
Let's start with the most straightforward one: sequential handoffs. This is literally like a factory assembly line. Agent A, let's say it's a researcher, finds some key information. It then hands its findings over to Agent B, the writer, who turns that research into a report. See? One agent's output becomes the next agent's input. Simple and effective.
But it can get so much more dynamic. With parallel processing, you've got multiple agents chipping away at different parts of the problem all at once to save a ton of time. Or, and this is really cool, in a debate model, you might have several agents actually argue different points of view to pressure test an idea and come up with a much more robust, well-thought-out conclusion. But it's not just about the flow of the work. It's also about the structure of the team itself. Just like in a human company, these AI teams can have different kinds of org charts to get the job done. The supervisor model is your classic top-down approach. You have one manager agent that's the central hub, handing out tasks and coordinating all the work. It's a really clear and organized system. The only downside, well, just like with a human manager, that supervisor can become a bottleneck if it gets totally swamped with requests. So, to solve that bottleneck problem, you can just scale the whole idea up into a hierarchical model. Think of it like a big corporation with multiple layers of management. This lets you break down extremely complex problems into tons of smaller parts, with managers at each level coordinating their own little piece of a much larger puzzle. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but where is this pattern actually being used right now? Let's check out a few real-world applications that really bring this concept to life. A perfect example is complex research. Imagine you need a super detailed report on a new technology. You could have one agent that's an expert at digging through academic papers, another that's a genius at summarizing text, and a third that's trained to spot statistical trends. Together, they can produce a comprehensive report in minutes, a task that might take a human team days to finish. Or what about software development? You could literally build an agent team that mirrors a human dev team. You've got an analyst agent figuring out the requirements, a coder agent generating the code, a tester agent hunting for bugs, and finally, a writer agent creating all the documentation. You get this fully automated pipeline that can build, test, and document software around the clock.
And in finance? Oh, this pattern is incredibly powerful. You can have a team where one agent is scraping real-time stock data, Another is analyzing the sentiment of financial news articles, and a final agent synthesizes all of that information to generate an investment recommendation. They're looking at the market from every angle at once.
And look, this isn't just some sci-fi thought experiment. Major frameworks are already being built specifically to support this multi-agent approach. Tools like Crew AI and Google's Agent Development Kit, the ADK, give developers the building blocks they need to actually create these teams and define how they all work together. So, we've covered the what and the how. Let's pull back for a second and just summarize why this shift from a single agent to a team of agents is such a massive leap forward.
So when you put it all together, the entire workflow looks something like this. A user gives a complex prompt. The system breaks it down and sends the pieces to a team of specialized agents. They collaborate, and their combined work is pulled together into a final, coherent output that's then sent back to the user. It's a really powerful, distributed way of working.
So, if you remember anything from this, remember these key points. Multi-agent collaboration is all about using a team to hit a common goal. It's built on specialized roles, it uses different playbooks for teamwork, and it's perfect for those really thorny, complex problems. But the biggest takeaway? The team achieves something that no single agent could ever accomplish on its own.
The benefits of building systems this way are huge. You get systems that are modular. It's like Lego blocks. You can swap one agent out without rebuilding the whole thing. They're scalable. If you need more power, you just add more agents to the team. And they're robust. If one agent fails, the others can often pick up the slack, so the entire system doesn't come crashing down.
And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Now that you understand the power of assembling a specialized AI team, from researchers to coders to artists, what's the complex, multifaceted problem you would want to solve with one? The possibilities are really just beginning to open up.